Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the options which the newly disenfranchised right wing of the Conservative Party feel they have in order to recapture the power they had until recently. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So the far right are not best pleased. Their standard bearer-in-chief, Suella Braverman, has fallen, at least temporarily, and there's a view that Sunak is trying to steer his party away from culture wars. An Ipsos poll has shown that the public overwhelmingly backs Sunak in sacking Braverman, even amongst 2019 Conservative voters. But I suspect many of the far right are self-aware enough to know that they're not really in tune with public thinking or even the public good. They have enjoyed years of having reasonable control of the Conservative Party in government, and they're not relinquishing it easily. Which begs the question, what are they going to do about it? Well, according to Alex Wickham, who's a reporter for Bloomberg, who, like every other political journalist, will have been trying to gauge views from relevant Conservative MPs, there seems to be three possible options that Team Braverman are considering. The first is the straightforward one, no subtlety, getting enough confidence letters in to trigger a challenge to Sunak's leadership and trying to replace him before the election. Now, I've discussed this a few times, so I won't repeat too much other than to say it's not clear what would dissuade them from trying this course if they eventually decide against it. It might be they just don't have the numbers. Indeed, it's doubtful that Sunak would have sacked Braverman without his whips being confident that she posed no catastrophic danger on the backbenchers. I mean, one thing we've learnt about Rishi Sunak is he's an absolute coward. There's no way he'd actually stand up to anyone. Or it could be that they fear some of the repercussions that I have mentioned in the past. Even if they had the numbers for a confidence vote, they wouldn't win it. It seems clear that the majority of Tory MPs do not want Braverman. A confidence vote would be very damaging for both Sunak and the Tories in general. It may be that Sunak is forced to remove the whip from her and call a general election with her deselected as a candidate. You know, as deluded as Braverman's supporters are about many things, I doubt they have a poor understanding of the level of support within the parliamentary party. There is a suggestion that Braverman might be getting ready to launch a very damaging attack against Sunak when she feels it will get the full attention of the media. I'm not sure I believe it. The second option is a party within a party, sort of like the ERG, but with a different focus. The problem here is that it's not clear what that focus would be. The far right of the Tory party is divided into those who are motivated by economic policy, you know, the literal right wing, and those by social policy. Now, Braverman is very much about the social policy. In fact, I don't think I really know where she stands economically because she almost never talks about it. Her political focus is purely authoritarian. You sometimes wonder if she'd even be happy to throw her lot in with communists as long as it gave her the power to suppress the population. As such, it's not clear that Team Braverman could ever become a major force within the Tory party where most of the far right focuses on economics. In fact, when you think about it, when it comes to shady funding that tends to be from people who want to promote policies which make them richer, you know, these opaquely funded think tanks are funded by people who are essentially interested in becoming much more billionaire-y. Their interest in authoritarianism tends to be indirect. You know, it's a desire to suppress criticism of their policies rather than an actual need to take away people's tents. Really, if Braverman is going to try and lead her own major faction within the Tory party, she's going to need to start paying more attention to economic theory in order to attract not only more support, but the big donations. If she doesn't, she'll just end up splitting the right of the party, who are already a minority of the parliamentary party as it is, albeit one that has punched above its weight in recent years. But where I see Braverman as being politically naive in the main is that she doesn't seem to understand that her most powerful potential allies are more interested in making themselves richer, when she is more interested in turning the UK into a concentration camp. So as things stand, unless Braverman actively broadens her appeal on the right, she's going to end up clashing with Liz Truss's low-tax Tories. Her only major advantage there being that the party probably won't give Truss another crack, but they may go for Braverman. But then if the low-tax Tories find another champion to emerge, then, you know, they may well be more powerful than Braverman. Maybe Priti Patel, although she's about as popular as veal at a vegan convention. The third option cited is a breakaway party, possibly with Nigel Farage. A complete non-starter that I cannot believe was even mentioned. There are a few reasons why the Conservatives have been the most successful political party in the world in history, and why they are so dominant in Britain, even though the population actually is slightly centre-left. It's because the left wing are idiots, and we keep splitting our vote and then not changing the electoral system when we get into power. The Conservatives have traditionally benefited from no challenge at all to the right-wing vote and been able to focus entirely on the centre. Now, this is changing a little bit with Reform UK, assuming they wish to challenge the Tories next time. But whatever the answer is for Braverman and her allies, it is unlikely to be a third party scrapping over those votes whilst insisting that a first-past-the-post system must be defended. If they want to form a breakaway party, they will need to throw their weight behind proportional representation to make it work. Getting Nigel Farage on board is not going to suddenly make them electable. He supported the Brexit Party in 2019 very explicitly, campaigned for them, and they didn't win a single seat. I cannot repeat often enough that after 7 failed attempts to win a Westminster seat himself, Nigel Farage eventually gave up after being beaten by a dolphin. And those are the options which we're told Braverman's People's Front of Judea are contemplating. The first is fraught with risk and has next to no chance of succeeding. The second is more plausible but would require a more holistic strategy than they currently have. The third is the most ridiculous thing I've read this week, and I've been reading Nadine Dorries's tweets. I noticed that none of the ideas seem to settle on the idea of just leaving Sunak to it and trying to seize control after the election. Aren't they confident they could win an election from opposition or something? But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.